Hi, friends. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's episode of Meet with Digital Thinkers Fireside Chat series, wherein we showcase digital leaders who are transforming businesses using technology. Before I introduce our digital leader for today, I want to just take a few minutes to set the context of what is to follow. Today, we all know that customer centricity is at the heart of business success. And as a result, organizations worldwide are putting the customer at the core of their business strategy in order to provide a positive experience and build long-term relationships. And this is the new reality that organizations need to align to, and the only way for them to survive and stay competitive. And needless to say, with the crisis that has ensued post the COVID-19 pandemic, customer centricity is something that will hold an edge for an organization in their success story. Now, talking about customer centricity, it is no longer limited to organizations focusing their efforts around their own idea of the customer. Today, it is all about enabling the customer to choose when and how to engage. And customer expectations are changing, and businesses are under pressure to stay aligned as they strive to take customer engagement a notch up. As a result, for organizations, it's about looking for newer avenues to connect with their customers. Now, I want to point out a report here by Voice of the Customer platform, Usabilla, which states that consumers want simplicity in their engagement with the business, with the brand. And more than half of consumers see chatbots as a quick and easy way to engage with companies on customer service matters. In fact, over half of consumers will choose a chatbot over a human to save time. Now, while all this is something that businesses are looking at, the challenge is finding the right platform, one that brings deep understanding of the customer and intuitiveness at the back end, and yet is simple at the front end. The quest for finding the right platform led Max Life Insurance, India's leading insurance company, to cloud. In today's episode, we bring to you how a conversational interface powered by cloud not only provided the insurance company with an all-in-one solution serving customers from query to product, but also turned out to be a promising revenue generation tool. And to talk about Max Life Insurance's cloud journey and how Google Cloud is helping the company stay competitive in today's customer-centric market dynamics, I have with me Shailendra Nath Jha, Vice President, Head of Digital Product Management at Max Life Insurance. Shailendra is leading the consumer side and partner products for Max Life Insurance, India's leading life insurance player in the online space. Welcome, Shailendra, and we really thank you for taking out time for this session today. And to take the discussion forward with Shailendra, I would like to invite Priyadarshi Mohapatra, Director, Google Cloud India. Priyadarshi, or Priyo as he prefers to be called, is a veteran of the industry with over 2.5 decades of experience in both enterprise and consumer space in India. At Google, Priyo is leading the cloud business for North and East of India. Before I hand it over to Priyo to take forward this discussion, I would like to tell all of you that you have the Q&A box in front of you. If you have any questions for Shailendra or for Priyo during any time of the chat, you can send them over the Q&A box, and we will take those questions once the fireside chat is over during the Q&A session. So with that, Priyo, I hand it over to you to take the discussion forward.
Thank you so much, Shipra. And thank you so much, Shailendra, for joining us today on this conversation. Even before we start and I ask you something specifics on what you've done in the business, I'm sure our entire audience is very, very keen to understand about your own journey and evolution into one of the leading insurance companies in the country. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Max Life's this exciting journey that you have had in, becoming one of the leading insurance providers for the country?
Yeah, thank you, Priyo, and thank you, Shipra, for giving me this opportunity. The interesting thing about me is that I'm not, an insurance guy. I joined Max Life only around 2 years back. So the interesting bit will be that I will be able to give you an outside-in perspective as well as an inside-out perspective, because I still don't consider myself as an insurance guy, right? So I still consider myself new to insurance, because and it's the industry itself is a little complicated and complex for you to understand that fully. I still consider myself as an outsider. But the one thing which I've definitely picked up, being now with Max Life for more than 2 years now, is that we customer centricity. We all talk about customer centricity, and we have to focus on customer. We actually, as a brand, did not have a choice but to focus on customer, because our competitors were and still are the likes of LIC and HDFC Live and ICICI Prudential, was like big brands and big banks themselves. They don't have to necessarily sell themselves as a brand, right? If you're going, if you as a prospect are going, you are already sold, and now figuring out the modalities of the premium, etc. This that. We, on the other hand, had to first establish ourselves as a brand. And in an insurance industry, insurance is nothing but a promise, right? I always say that insurance is one of the oldest or the earliest subscription-based products, because I'm a product manager. I look everything from a product lens, and long before the likes of Amazon Prime and Netflix were insurance. When you are actually paying a premium every year or every month, depending upon your frequency, for what? For a promise, for actually nothing but a piece of paper which tells you that if something happens to you, your family will get something. It's nothing but a promise. You will not even live to see that day, when your money comes back. Now, to be able to sell this kind of a product without a big brand name in your backend can only be done if you are completely and totally customer centric, and everything and anything you do is around customers. And I'm not just saying it because this was one of the first companies, in fact the only company, which talked about such advice. If you remember, I think 2008 or 9, or when I think the ULIP plans, etc. There was a lot of negativity around insurance selling, etc. And we took a stand that we will be talking about such advice, whatever is true for you, not necessarily for us, not necessarily for the company, but as an advisor, I will always advise whatever is true for you, which was not the norm, which was actually kind of anti to what the prevalent hypothesis was back then. And you talk about, so what we have done is we have actually dug deep inside understanding customer behavior, what customers do, what is it that they are looking for. If you recall, the recent advertising campaign which we did was actually on claim paid ratio. Now this claim paid ratio was known to everyone for long, but nobody actually used this concept. Because we have a dedicated team who is actually talking to customers and listening to customers, we figured out that in a life insurance business, the moment of truth is actually when the claim get paid, right? And people are actually looking for how many times do you actually pay the money, right? And that becomes a very important number, and we picked that number. We have coined it as the bharose ka number, and that we make claims. We actually fulfill claims more than 99% of the times, and actually it got hit. And now suddenly everybody else is also kind of copying and trying to build that number. So this all comes from customer centricity. And I think one more thing apart from customer centricity will be digital, because we also knew that we do not have that muscle power which a LIC or HDFC might have in terms of the sales force. The way to reach to the masses is through online and digital penetration. And if you look at it from a digital and an online perspective, MaxLab actually leads all of these brands in terms of the penetration and the way we access our SEO ranking and anything which we have done even on chatbot, and we'll talk later about chatbot also. But yeah, those two things, I will summarize this in saying that customer centricity will excessively customer focused, and that was actually not a choice. And second was being digital first. I won't say we are still digital first, but at least in our thinking and in our approach, digital is one of the key tenets of what we talk about internally. Customer centricity and digital is what has taken us to where we are today.
Awesome, fantastic. So what amazing insight, Shailendra. I mean, coming from somebody who's outside, this whole concept of a promise which is sold on subscription model, really, takes a step back. Like everybody believes that we've just stepped into a subscription economy, but you just put that to rest, saying, hey, subscription economy probably always existed, and you didn't even pay for a tangible product. It was a promise for which you paid on subscription. You have awesome insight on that, and I think I love the phrase that you spoke about, which is sachi advice, and sachi advice leading to a bharose ka number, which is your claim ratio. I think the cue that I draw from both these elements is foundation of both these elements is probably based on trust, and your business is so much based on trust that people have to because this is something that they'll get probably not even during their lifetime, and the near and dear ones at a very vulnerable moment are going to get the reward of what they have invested for. So such a powerful and profound statement, but I think you summarized it beautifully, and you said you don't have a choice, but you had to be based on the competition, based on the market realities. You had to be digital and you had to be customer centric, and that sort of gives me the segue to say that, hey, you didn't have a choice to become digital, and you didn't have a choice to be customer centric, but you did have a choice on how do you do it. The how part, the what was very clear, and you did choose cloud as the path of that how to do it. So I would be very keen to understand the rationale, the reason behind choosing cloud as a platform for that how.
Yeah. So again, I'll see. I'm a product manager. So product managers are typically storytellers. I'll tell you stories only, and then you can infer from those stories. One story which I'll tell you is then when I joined. I think Priya has he left the meeting? Okay, I'll continue.
So we got disconnected. So yeah, please.
Yeah.
Priya is back.
Okay. Yeah, Brio. So what I was saying was that I'll tell you a story.
My apologies. I think I need to take insurance for the bandwidth.
Yes, surely. So when I joined, and I've worked for a lot of these startups and new age companies, and where they were mostly on cloud, anyways. And when I joined this company, MaxLive, and when we were launching a new product, and then when I looked at the project timeline, and then I said, 40% of the time was actually being taken in infra setup, and around 30% was time being taken in the quality analysis and QA, and actually only 30% was actually development. And I was like almost flabbergasted ki, what is this? Because I was never used to hearing these things as infra setup itself can take weeks and months. That is one. Second is a very recent phenomena, which is what happened during COVID. That suddenly our website traffic zoomed, the customer service and all this, because suddenly now there is this growing fear amongst everybody, right? Pehle logo lagta tha ki koi nahi marne wala. Now suddenly everybody is thinking that har koi marne wala hai. Then everybody is like coming to life insurance and searching. So good for us, honestly. But suddenly the website traffic zoomed because there was no way you could not talk to your agents, you could not visit. Now these two things. First is the infra setup cost, or the time which was taking, because of the lack of being on cloud. And second is the scalability factor, which is, you can scale to whatever level and come down to whatever level without actually being prepared. I remember those days when in one of my previous companies, whenever we had to do a marketing campaign, the infra guys will ask that, aap mujhe bata do kitna traffic aane wala hai. And we were like, I don't know. We are putting a Times of India front page banner, but I don't know how many people will come. But you're like, no, you will have to tell me, because otherwise if the site goes down, that is not my headache. So as a product manager, like, this is your responsibility to make sure. Now see cloud, how beautifully answers most of these questions, right? That, your infra setup is a matter of, days or minutes at times, and scalability is not a factor at all. You pay as you go kind of model, and, those things. I think one more thing which was more very important to, I'm not telling you the thinking which has gone behind being, cloud first and thinking around cloud. The third bit was that, in these companies, you would have seen that, a large part of the IT team is actually just responsible for managing the procurement process of hardware and software, the application infrastructure, rather than focusing on code development and coding, which is what their job is. This actually takes away that constraint also. That, those things are like hygiene, that you don't have to bother about physical infra, this, that, and uska maintenance, because these bigger players like Google or Amazon or Azure, everybody will be like, because they have this is their bread and butter, they will make sure that this is top class and everything is taken care of from a vulnerability suspect point of view. Insurance itself is a very highly regulated industry, so those things are also playing in our mind. And when we actually charted out the 3 to 5 year kind of digital transformation journey, going cloud was the first thing. It was like, don't even think beyond this. You to jana hi jana. And I think those were the reasons. And I think most of us know about these reasons, but I'm just putting those things into perspective for a life insurance company.
No, it's so much. It sort of vindicates the whole concept with which a player like us brings forward. The proposition that we've been using it for like since we were born, and we know what could make this more elastic, more secure, very, very data resilient, and managing your spikes. And when I hear it from your perspective as an end user, that resonated so well with you, for you to really prompt to go towards a journey, sort of vindicates that stance of what we thought. The hypothesis is probably being put to use in the right manner. Awesome, fantastic to hear that. But Chandra, coming from Google, I would like to narrow the focus a little bit, saying, hey, I totally understand that, why cloud, but, choosing Google Cloud, and I'm sure Google Cloud was not just about an infrastructure, but, how we helped you in understanding your customers better, how we helped you in looking into newer avenues by looking at data and the story that data tells you. And you are probably one of the most amazing storytellers. And let's hear from you. What was the data story that you heard and how Google Cloud has helped you in this?
Yeah. So, so honestly, and obviously we are the customers of Google. In fact, not just Google Cloud. I would say Max has had a amazing experience with Google so far. I think long back, when even I had not joined, I hear that right from our prospecting journey, which is the whole buying journey, the promotions and the advertising we do along with Google, as well as our whole analytics piece, which is on the front end. How do you measure how the data, how it comes in? We are actually using Google BigQuery also in analyzing all those data which is coming in from. So all the prospecting which is being done from the website and all the customer servicing which is being done on the website is being churned and analyzed and synthesized using BigQuery on Google, and all analytics is Google Analytics. However, specifically on the chatbot, I think this is long before Dialogflow was Dialogflow. I think when it was API.ai, we have been using that since then. And obviously with Google acquiring it and renaming it as Dialogflow, it was the by default that was the choice. And we are actually amazed by the kind of agility it brings. So because to be able to create a chatbot is not I would say people have now templatized it and they say you can do anything and everything. But being one of the first people who actually started this way back, I think in 2016-17, we had not even promoted it outside. They were mostly around internal proof of concepts, etc. And I think Google and also Media Agility, we have been working together so much. And the kind of insights which the Google team also gives us, just by the sheer fact that these guys also, because you guys also working with a lot of other competitors and different industries, brings in a fresh perspective onto how do you not just for chatbot, but I talked about the buying journey part also, where you are analyzing data. Some of the insights which the Google team would give us are amazing, and we have actually made some of the suggestions, some of the changes on our buying journey, which is what Google team has provided us.
No, I absolutely, and I think that's sort of a motto that we live with, Shailendra, that because we were born as a company whose DNA was based on data. We have some 9 odd products which created each of them having billion plus users. So for us, like you mentioned in the earlier, it was not a option. It was not a choice. We had to figure out what to do with the data. And it's heartening to hear how Media Agility and Google really helped you understand this data. But if I can probably double click on it a little bit and ask you that this conversational platform, and like you mentioned, it's not just about having a very templatized conversation with the customer but trying to understand and see the story. So if you can tell us a little bit about any key business metrics of yours that it truly impacted, our audience will probably get a flavor of how this has helped you in real business.
Sure. In fact, as I told you, right, BFSI is normally considered as a laggard, honestly, in tech and digital. But I was actually surprised to see that, and as I told you, we were one of probably the first few companies who adopted the concept of bot. And I think it is coming from the fact that we were customer centric. We were thinking about where the needle is moving, where the customers are going. Data, voice and chatting, messaging applications were, hitting through the roof, WhatsApp and Google Assistant and all those things. So we knew that, this is going to come to us. And so we invested heavily, very, very much early. As I said, when API.ai was there, we started there. And honestly, the first few cases were pretty the obvious ones, whereas the customer service is concerned. When a customer is coming to you and he is asking for a certain query, he shouldn't have to go through the menu and all those things. He just has to type something, and the bot will predict what he's talking about, even if there is a spelling mistake and all that, and all those things are obviously Dialogflow takes care of, the intents. And I'm glad to tell you that, we have seen almost a 10x increase in the number of, chatbot servicing, which we have seen on the website in the last 1 year, from June to June, if you compare, or July to July, if you compare, it has been 10x, nothing less than 10x. And just to give you some more numbers, see, almost 70% of all our service transactions are now on digital platforms, which is the website and chatbot and WhatsApp. And out of those, around 15 to 20% out of these 70%, 15 to 20% have already moved to what we call as conversational interfaces. We don't call it only chatbot, because chatbot is one thing. We are actually calling it conversational interfaces, where we include anything which you are doing conversationally, right? WhatsApp is also a conversation in a way. Chatbot is also a conversation. Even emails, the way customers write and they respond back is a conversation. So what we have done is, instead of looking at it like an asset, which is chatbot, we are looking at it like a capability, which is conversational interfaces capability, which will have a common intelligence at the backend and can have different wrappers on top of it. For example, an email can have multiple lines, or like a paragraph also. How do you break those lines and create small entities and pass it on to the same engine, and that same engine will reply back? Whereas chat is mostly more colloquial, more conversational. It will be more phrases and words. And going forward, we are also launching on Google Assistant, which will be more voice, but actually, and these things are, again, and it's not like I'm trying to, appreciate Google or something, because I'm on this platform, and generally saying that, all of these are so out of the box. Like going to Google Assistant was like not a big deal, because you were on Dialogflow. It was a quick job to get it done. And honestly, we are now very soon. I mean, right now it's in beta phase, and very soon it will be live, like in a week or two. So we are for us, it is a bridging. It's not just a check in the box game that you also need to have a chatbot, because nowadays this is like almost a mandate. If you have a chatbot, aap kya kar rahe ho? But we have been investing and hence we are looking at chatbot or rather conversational interface as a capability, as a platform. Okay. On which can be rendered to different channels. And we have a dedicated team, as I told, with media agility, and we've dedicated product managers, dedicated visual designers who are supporting this cause. And that's it.
So I mean, I was just trying to sort of recap in my mind that journey. I mean, from just using a chatbot or any digital point of contact to initiate a conversation, to really taking intelligence on that conversation into a conversational platform and building that capability to now have the next level of interaction with the customers, not just a digital conversation, an intelligent digital conversation, and the capability to actually fulfill some of the needs that a customer has purely on the digital, I think is a fabulous, and it could be the 2.0 journey for a lot of the people. But I'm sure, Shailendra, when you were going through that journey, our partner Media Agility would have also worked with you to see that not just develop this capability as something to serve your customers and create a customer-centric capability, but was there any point that you looked at, how do you use this capability as a revenue-generating capability?
So the way I would answer that question is, we don't look at it as either if it is serving a customer in terms of his servicing, or it is serving us in terms of revenue generation. The way we look at it is, if it can be deployed to solve a particular use case or a problem statement. And it can be true for a customer. It can be true for an agent also. We have around 40,000 agents across the country. So what we look at as a capability or a technology is how can this be deployed in a certain area to solve a particular use case. And obviously, those use cases will be not just limited to a servicing, which I told you, which is a very direct use case, but very much possible in terms of sales also. I'll give you an example. Our sales journey actually starts with creation of a lead. So customer actually fills his date of birth, name, email address, etc., so that we can give him a quotation. Because are you a smoker, non-smoker, or what is your age? Basis that there is a logic which tells you what is the premium amount which you should pay. Now we used to have a regular lead page also, which is like a regular HTML page. But what we did was we started trying out on a what we called as a lead bot, which is nothing but you just enter your basic information, 2-3 things. You don't have to see like a long page. You just enter those 2-3 information, and a quotation will be given to you. And honestly, we were also surprised to see the lead bot conversion was actually much higher than the regular page conversion. And obviously, that also depended on different use cases. If you're solving top of the funnel or very bottom of the funnel, those things. And here also we worked not with the Google Cloud team, but with the Google advertising team to make sure that where all can we fit this lead bot. And we're seeing phenomenal success in a lot of certain use cases where customer doesn't have to see the whole page, because there are a lot of other things also. The page load time, because it will have a banner, and there are people who with 2G, 3G network will fail. A lot of times page itself will not load, so the bounce rates will go up. Whereas the chatbot is nothing but a very light solution, right? It will quickly load, and just have to answer a few things. And just a lot of times people are just looking for a quotation because they just want to make up their mind. The look to book ratio, as we say, is also very skewed here. So those things actually helped us. So lead bot actually was a decent success, I would say. And I think a lot of other use cases also. Gartner keeps talking about this digital twin concept, right? And for the agents, which are the 40,000 agents, we thought that, because if I am the agent and you are the customer, if you are asking me something, not every agent is as educated, and he will have to refer to some literature or call somebody. We provided them with, a cool chat interface on WhatsApp, where he will just quickly, suppose if you're asking me a certain keyword, which he doesn't know, he will just quickly type on the chat and the answer will come on his phone. He can just read and then this answer. So he doesn't have to actually say, okay, sir, main kal aunga, and I'll get the answer. Or he'll have to call somebody or his boss or somebody. So these are like, frequently asked questions, like you can have a list of them. So I'm saying, you are using technology not with the aim of actually making money or doing a certain thing, but actually trying to solve a problem. And our motto has been that if you're solving a problem, money will obviously come, revenue to aa hi jayega. But you have to, our job is to, technology job is to not make money, but to solve a problem. It is the sales people's job to make money, and sales people will make money. So that's how I'll put it.
Fantastic. I mean, I love that concept of look to book, and how does a lead bot from a chat bot to a lead bot, which is really like probably being more efficient than a live person actually interacting and trying to give us the end result, because the means doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the end result matters. Fantastic. And I like the concept of how you've looked at both leveraging technology, not just for the heck of it, but solving a problem. And while you're solving that problem, you're not just looking at external customers, but even your internal customers, and your agents are your internal customers. How does it become from a chat bot to a chat buddy, and help them answer their queries, to a lead bot? I mean,
in fact, I have one more example I can point out there, which is while you are buying, there is also a process of document collection, because we have to verify your salary details, or
right,
KYC and other things, right? This thing also, what we are doing is we are solving through bot. So on WhatsApp, because a lot of people actually have these documents stored on phone, or because phone has a camera, you can just quickly open your phone and scan the document, click here and send it out. Versus going to the website, finding that option, clicking on attachment, opening that, selecting that. People are so now used to sending pictures and all on WhatsApp. They become so comfortable. Like even my mom can send, a picture, and when she will hear this, she will kill me. But those are the things that we have enabled in technology, and these things have enabled or taught customers how to behave in a certain way. we are actually leveraging on that customer insight, so to say. And, you don't have to do anything on your chatbot, on your WhatsApp, because the max life number is there. You just have to attach that document, 4 or 5 documents, and send, and you're done. पीछे से हम देख लेंगे. Instead of you going to the site and figuring out and this, and people following up on call कि आप मुझे सर document भेज दो, etc. etc. So yeah, those examples are phenomenal for from a chatbot point of view.
Absolutely awesome. And for all of us, I must say, Chandra, this has been such a fantastic session listening to you, with knowing a lot more about your industry and understanding, how. And to me, that still sticks in my mind, that a promise sold on subscription model, when none of us probably realized how it will change the world, how we will all move to this snacking economy that we are talking about. What an awesome journey. But, just before I let you go, we are all probably either your customers or potential customers. What do we look forward to coming from you going forward?
Yeah, I think the one or two big things in our mind which is going on, I think maybe for everybody else also, is voice, vernacular, and video. There are 3 V's which people talk about these days, right? Video, vernacular, and voice. I'm not sure how video will come into this, but definitely voice and vernacular is going to be big. As I spoke about this, right? Google Assistant, we have launched it. It's in the beta stage. Very soon, everybody will be able to use it on their Google Home or on the phone, on the Google Assistant, which is how this journey is moving from just पहले वेबसाइट होता था, लोग उस पर टाइप करते थे, अब उससे चैट पे आ गया, चैट से उससे text voice पे. It's amazing the way. And I'll tell you a small example. I've heard that Apple, when they test products, when they build, I've heard, I'm nobody to validate that, but I've heard that they actually make kids use their products, children, like 4-year, 5-year children, and their assumption is that if kids can use it, then anybody else can use it, and they want to make it so dumb-proof that anybody can use it, and it's just actually true. On their screen, you only have one word, like tap there, and everything will open up. And so, and I don't even know if that is true, but वो होता है ना, जैसे लोग कहते हैं कि किसी भी स्टेटमेंट के पीछे लगा दो कि ये महात्मा गांधी ने कहा था, so it becomes reality and it adds weight. And similarly, people say that if Google or Amazon or Apple does it, so I'm sure kuch
must be right.
But maybe it's true. I don't know. So taking the same example, I have seen that my daughter, for example, is 4.5 years. She has started to interact with Google Home. She knows, okay, Google बोलने से on होता है, and okay, Google, can you please? And if I don't say please, she will tell me to say please. Can you please play this song? And at times she also manages to play a song. She manages to control the volume. Okay, Google, volume 5, volume 6. She's heard. 4.5-year-old kid doing this. So that means that that gives me the insight that is where the customers are also going to move, because if Apple were true and they were looking at kids for inspiration and usability, this is a real example when voice is अच्छा आसान क्या होगा. And there are times when I have also started using WhatsApp. Yeah. Instead of typing, if I'm driving a car, I'll just press and I'll say whatever content has to be delivered, because it also has emotion and it also has a lot of other factors, right? And deliver and just press and then done, rather than typing using emojis and smileys and all those things. So if customers are driving, customers are moving towards that direction, which is voice, I think definitely voice is a big role to play. We are dabbling with ideas on voice-based IVR to obviously Google Assistant based on voice. I won't be surprised if we have this conversation again in say 6-8 months. The numbers which I told you about, the chatbot might be very different because of voice. So, and Google-based, IVR, voice-based IVR is something also which we are working on. And we are actually, as I told you, right, we are looking at it as a product, as a platform. So what visual design used to be for HTML-based websites, now we are actually hiring people to write, the copy for these, the chatbots, because, we want to make it more human, as I said, right? You were also saying that, we took it like a robotic concept, and now we are trying to make it more humane. True. Because this is where it is leading to, because, people don't want to talk to a robot, honestly. They want to talk to somebody who understands sentiments and emotions. So even the type of copy which you are writing, the small talk which we do, I'm sure everybody who would have used Siri or Google would have said, do you love me, or etc. So, and how does the bot respond in turn? So we are actually, I've heard that, in West, in Silicon Valley, etc., they are actually hiring playwriters and poets for the copy of chatbot. This is how industry and people are moving. And if you are genuinely looking at this as a product which is going to change the trajectory, you have to be serious about it, and you have to put the right kind of investment in terms of infrastructure, in terms of technology, in terms of the product thinking, visualization, copywriting. So we are focused towards that. So that is something which you can expect from us sometime down the line. But yeah, this is all I can disclose at this point in time.
No, it's thank you so much. Thank you so much for being very candid with us and sharing this future dream. And I would love to see, Chandra, how do we partner with you? How do we really walk every step with you in making that a reality? And you made a very important point. Technology, like in business, we have to become customer centric. In technology, we have to become human centric. We don't connect. If we are thinking we're talking to a machine, we will draw a wall, whether we know it or not. A subliminal wall will start building. But when you know that, and the reason why you gave that example, your daughter says, please, she believes that she has to follow the protocol of talking to another person and doesn't want to hurt the feeling. So I think absolutely right. And I think technology companies, we're also being very responsible towards that. It's not just about creating a technology, but creating responsible technologies and bringing human-centric. And like I said, it has been one of the most exciting conversations that I've had. Thoroughly loved it. Got so much more insight about your industry, and I'm sure the audience would have loved it too. Thank you again, Shailendra. And I would now like to probably hand it back to Shipra. Shipra, all yours.
Thank you, Priyo, and thank you so much, Shalin, for that great conversation. And while you were talking to Priya, I was just trying to grasp everything that you have spoken about. And what really caught my attention was the fact that you were not just talking about chatbot, you're talking about a conversational interface, and how you have really differentiated between just a chatbot and a conversational interface, and the more humane aspect of these conversational interfaces. And we really look forward to some of the things that you have spoken about, which are in the pipeline, the new capabilities, use cases that you plan to add using Google Cloud. We look forward to seeing those in the future as well. So thank you so much, Shailendra, and thank you, Priyo. We will actually move to the next part of the things, but for everyone else who's watching, please do send in your questions for Shailendra and Priyo. We will take them up after our next presentation during the Q&A session. So while Shailendra and Priyo were talking about the initiatives at Max Life Insurance, and Shailendra referred to media agility, I think what I realized was that having the right partner in this journey is essential to actually optimize and maximize the results that you have set out to achieve with cloud. I think without the right partner, it might be difficult to get onto that journey. And therefore, I would like to present to you the perspective of the partner here. And for that, I would like to invite Nitesh Chahal, Country Head Media Agility, a Google Cloud Premier Partner. Nitesh is a seasoned technologist with over 20 years of experience helping enterprises in their digital transformation journeys. So Nitesh, over to you.
Thank you, Shipra. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You just watched an invigorating chat session and followed the passion of Shailendra and leader like him on how they look at the digital first and the innovation that is really, really important in the landscape today. So I'll take a few minutes of your time to present about Media Agility, which is a Google Premier Partner and which helps companies like MaxLife and others in the space to align with the vision, share their passion, and help them bring those ideas to market for their consumers. So I'll quickly share a presentation with you, which is an overview of Media Agility. So we are a global digital consultancy with offices across 6 countries, headquartered in New Jersey, and serving our customers out of East Coast, US, West Coast, Mexico, UK, Singapore, and from India, Gurgaon, Pune, and Mumbai. We are focused only on Google Cloud. We have been a premier Google partner since inception, which is last close to 8+ years. And we boast of being the highest per capita certified Google Cloud professionals in the ecosystem. So we have close to 350 engineers and professionals working in our company, and of those, 290 plus have active Google Cloud certifications. On top of it, we have 6 partner specializations which are awarded by Google, which come after a lot of due diligence and an audit through a third party. And we kind of bring in the customer credentials, the case studies, the rave reviews from the leaders who we have worked with, and the copybook style in which we do the deployments, migrations, and development. We were awarded Partner of the Year Marketing Analytics in 2019 by Google. We are known for our responsiveness because agility is in our name. And even more than that, I love to say that we share the passion of our customers and leaders like Shailendra when we embark on that vision of how to productize the ideas they have in their mind and bring that to the consumers. So we share that passion. We work as a partner and not as a vendor. We look at the roadmap. We look at how we can bring it to the market as early as possible, and what should be the value add, not only from the technology but also from business standpoint. So as Shipra mentioned, I would still call myself an industry expert in BFSI because I have worked for around 15 years across the global banks and insurance companies. So I know the domain inside out, and we have that set of business analysts in our team who can really add value to the product idea of the product managers and the product owners. So as I said, we have 6 focus solutions across these verticals. First is cloud engineering, where we help companies move from their on-prem or a different cloud to Google Cloud. We do that through a proper methodology where we first assess the current infrastructure. We plan with the teams on how to do the migration, and post that we do the actual migration deployment and top it up with the change management services. Of course, at the end of it is the continual optimization, because you just don't move to the cloud, right? Once you move to the cloud, your vision is that you will either redesign the existing applications for cloud, or the new ones would be built with cloud in the mind. So that is the cloud engineering vertical. The second is collaboration and productivity. You heard a lot about Shailendra talking from email. We have come to text. From text, it was voice, and you never know what it will become. Probably the technology will even perceive our thoughts and will do something in another 2-3 years, which we don't even need to type or even speak into it. So we work on collaboration and productivity platform of Google. We actually do the deployments, and the collaboration productivity platform is actually called G Suite, which is your quintessential Gmail, Google Drive, and even the Meet platform which we are using. So all of you would definitely be familiar with it. So with it comes a lot of change management. If you are moving from again an on-prem sort of a Gmail environment, or you are not used to working collaboratively on the documents, or especially in the COVID scenario where desktop as a service solutions, and on top of it you do your almost all your meetings online through a platform like Google Meet. The third offering is location intelligence, where we help the enterprises and corporates to leverage Google Maps and build the field force optimization or the solutions on top of maps. In fact, we have a location intelligence platform called Dista, which is a product in itself, and it is a household name in India, used at many enterprise and corporate organizations for maps-based solutions. The fourth in line is app modernization, because once you move to the cloud, as I just mentioned, it's not only about moving to the cloud. Then you will move your applications, rebuild them, re-architecture them on open source technologies like Kubernetes or on hybrid cloud platform like Anthos, and we are there for helping you in that journey. Then it is data and marketing analytics, which is the niche area. I would say data is new oil, and you have heard all the anecdotes. All the students and the kids I talk to want to become the next data scientists or the data engineers. So this is really an offering which is looked upon by most of the enterprises across the globe as something they really want to do. They want to turn the data which is lying silos in various systems into actionable insights, and use a lot of technologies like Google BigQuery, etc., to really gain the knowledge about their consumers and help them or serve them better. Finally, it's AI. Again, it's one of the more than a buzzword, because AI adoption is a key, especially in the post-COVID era, when you are not able to meet your customers face to face or interact with them. You want to go one step forward. After driving the actionable insights, you actually want to build the prediction engines. You actually want to enhance the customer experience with platforms like conversational intelligence, which we just heard a lot about in the conversation. So these are our 6 key solution offerings where we help the enterprises on moving to the cloud and doing what needs to be done to solve those business problems and challenges. We are serving customers across 9 countries, and on the screen you can see some key logos, which are the logos from India. These are some of our clients since inception, and some are new entrants. You can see that there are a lot of BFSI segment known names. There are who is who in digital native space, and there are some typical the sectors which of course have been laggards in embracing technology, but are now quickly moving towards cloud, data analytics, and AI adoption, like your manufacturing, retail, etc. And of course there are some global GSIs and larger technology players which come to the specialists like us when they want to build the solutions for themselves or for their customers on cloud. I'll move on to some customer success stories. I have just picked 3, one from each vertical, which is more relevant to the discussion we have just had. And there are a lot more stories on the website and are available on demand as and when is required. So the first I would love to talk about is eShopBox, a company, a digital native company, which we helped move from on-prem to cloud. As Shailendra mentioned, the real work which the thought leaders want to do is bringing their ideas out as early as possible to the market. They want to focus on the product, they want to focus on the business vision, but 40% of it is used up in thinking about the infrastructure, the scaling of the infrastructure, the disaster recovery, the load balancing, and so on. So this was also a problem with eShopbox, and we helped them curtail their costs on the on-prem by moving to the cloud and re-architecture their applications to serve the customers faster. One of the key aspect of this partnership with eShopbox was they grew in 3 months as they would have in 2 years, and this was kind of vouched by the CTO. The second in the list of success stories is our data analytics work at one of the top 3 largest private sector banks in India. Because of the confidentiality constraint, I cannot name the customer. We help them design a seamless solution to ensure that the customers from wherever medium they are coming to the bank, be it the website or be it the footprint on the outlet or be it the app, they get a uniform access to the customer data, and that too in very less time. The third is Purple. I know that it's a household name. It's a very well-known digital native company in India. So Purple was possessing huge amounts of data because it's an online e-commerce retail, and they wanted to leverage that data and drive key metrics to help them take the decisions to grow their customer base, to serve them better, to cross-selling and upselling of their products. So Media Agility partnered with them to help them create the data strategy. We also helped them in the API management and designing of some of the applications, right from the design up to the QA and UAT. So now, post that deployment and development, they are able to scale efficiently and improve their recommendation engine, automate the marketing stack, the demand prediction engine, and much more. These were 3 case studies which we picked up of many which we have had in last 8+ years across the 6 geographies we are working in and serving customers from 9 different countries. So how do we start? We start by doing a planning workshop with you, and we sit with the business and technology leaders to understand the problem, gain the know-how of business as well as technology, so that we can actually align with the roadmap and add value to how to take that solution from idea to innovation to the market in the best possible and the fastest way. The foundation workshop has the business analysts from our side as well as the technology experts to take down those notes, jot down the points, and then present the plan and the migration or the deployment or development strategy. And finally, how do we take that to a continual optimization route? These are the numbers which are present on the screen. You can reach out to us at sales@mediaagility.com, and we would be happy to work with you on bringing to reality the vision you have in your mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Nirdesh, for giving us that overview of media agility. And with that, we now move to our Q&A session. So we have been receiving some questions while the chat and Nirdesh's session was on. So Priyo, the first question is actually for you. And the question is that public cloud is not an acceptable option for clients with strict GDPR compliance, and a lot of government projects do not want data to move to cloud. So how can Google Cloud help CIOs to address this issue?
Okay, it's an interesting question, and let me give you 2 flavors to that. One is purely on data residency, whether to move the data to the cloud or not. The other is about data residency in the country or outside the country. And there are nuances on both for regulated industries, so let me try and address both of them. First and foremost, I think the security that you have on data on cloud today is probably much better and much higher than what you would in fact have in your on-prem, because this level of security that you get for that data is at the same level of security that companies like Googles of the world run their own business on. So we cannot expose our own customers' data to any vulnerability, and that same level of security, same level of control aspects we provide to any of our customers' data, even in the regulated industry. Having said that, for CIOs who are really looking at, and CTOs who are really looking at creating a hybrid strategy where they want to hold some portion of their data on premise and then work with cloud infrastructure on the elasticity and other advantages that Shailendra spoke about earlier, we do have now solutions like Anthos and all, which gives you a very real life, hybrid kind of solution, which creates an evolution of your journey in how you go about, keeping part of your play on-prem as well as keeping a part of the on cloud, and seamlessly working on both the sides and really keeping it in a cloud native format so that when you're ready to move on, you can. Having said that, we do abide and follow by the rules and regulation, the statutory norms that the law lays out for the land, and be completely compliant on all those aspects. I hope that answers the question. Anything, Shipra, you want to know more, I'll be more than happy to share.
Sure. I think, that should answer the question. And the next question is for Shailendra. The question is that choosing the right cloud is a big challenge. So, and all seem to offer similar landscape. So how did you zero down to Google Cloud when you decided to go ahead?
See, honestly, as I told you, right, we were actually involved with API.ai since the very beginning. And Google being a partner from other aspects also in terms of the advertising solutions and analytics, and the fact that we were using Google Analytics in terms of so much of data which it has from as far as our prospects as well as customer services is concerned, we thought this is the right platform for us in that sense also, and also because we were already using API.ai before, so it was a no-brainer for us.
Okay, great. Thanks, Shailendra. Nidesh, the next question is for you, and that customers today would like to explore various solutions to bring innovation. So what is your recommendation how to prioritize these requirements?
Okay, so each business problem is a different use case, right? And of course, it depends on a lot of factors, but I would say that you just can't do a lift and shift to the cloud and think that you can move everything in one go. You just have to prioritize what you want to do and take it step by step. And to do that, you need to sit with some experts and actually present the business case, the problem, and help them look at how to analyze the solution for it, and take it step by step ahead.
Okay, thanks, Nidesh. So Priyo, there's one more question. Google Cloud is relatively new for the enterprises. So how is Google trying to bring focus on the enterprise cloud in your view?
Well, I would like to clear that myth once and for all. Google has been using the infrastructure as cloud infrastructure for our own journey for, I think, as long as you can think that Google has existed. So the solutions, the technologies that we had were enterprise grade, and we've been using it ourselves. It's just that we have now publicly made it available in many countries, including India, and the enterprises are getting it, but the technology has always been there.
Right. So in fact, I think all these, meet with digital thinker sessions that we have done so far, and the ones that we plan to do in the future, I think actually tell a story that, how about Google Cloud in the enterprises. We have brought about different stories from across industries, and they are examples of Google's presence and strength in the enterprise segment. So with that, I think we are almost at 4 o'clock, so it's time for us to close this session. I would especially like to thank Shailendra for taking out time today, and it was fascinating here your journey and your storytelling style and the way you brought out examples. I think that was great, and actually we could see that and envision that that journey that you were talking about with your storytelling. So thank you once again, and thanks Priyo and Nidesh again for the time today, and thanks to all our attendees for taking out time today to attend this session. I hope there are a lot of key learnings that you have that you can take back with you, and if there are any further questions, you can drop them in the question box and we will get them answered later. So thank you once again, and I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy, and have a great evening. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.